And our lecture segment this morning, we continue with our special feature, On the Road to Ramadan, where we highlight certain aspects of our lives that we must improve on in the build up to the holy month of Ramadan. So this morning, we'll be having our third segment of On the Road to Ramadan. And every Friday from now until the month of Ramadan, we'll be having this very special feature, On the Road to Ramadan. So upon the approach of any occasion, whether spiritual or otherwise, one of our major concerns is to ensure that our house is clean if need be. Decorations are put up. Every so often, we carry out a general do-over. We make sure that our surroundings are clean, a fresh coat of paint. So when that particular occasion arrives, we are in a good position to welcome that particular occasion, whether spiritual or otherwise. In other words, we make sure that everything materialistic is in place. But my question to you this morning, what about the spiritual aspects? With the same vigor that we put into our material preparations, that same vigor, that same enthusiasm must go into our spiritual preparations. And as we speak, we've got roughly about 5 weeks left before the arrival of the month of Ramadan. We must pay attention to our spiritual preparation. And one of the things that you must most certainly try your best to cleanse before the arrival of the month of Ramadan is none other than your heart. Give attention to the purification of your heart. You do not want to enter into a spiritual period with filth attached to your heart. And as you go through life, your heart is constantly under attack. Your heart is being attacked by anger. Your heart is being attacked by hatred. Your heart is being attacked by malice, by jealousy, by evil thoughts. And above all, your heart is being constantly bombarded by the whispers of the devil himself. And if you don't practice frequently cleaning out your heart of all of the filth, eventually it will affect your spirituality. So as we head very quickly towards the arrival of this very spiritual time of the year, it is important that you purify your heart before moving forward. The heart in the Quranic vocabulary is not just a piece of flesh in your body, but it is the center of all of your feelings, your emotions, your motives, your drives and aspirations. And it is also the vessel for the remembrance of the Almighty. It is the heart which can either soften or can harden. It is the heart that goes blind and refuses to recognize the truth. And it is also the same heart that inspires an individual to move forward with his life. In the heart lies the root of all outward disease. It is the seat of all inner ills, but it is also the heart of much greater spirituality. It is the center of all that is good, but it is also the center that it can be the center to all that is bad as well. You have to work on your heart to make it what you want to be. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentions one of his traditions that verily in the body of man there is an organ, or there is a lump of flesh, and if that organ and if that lump of flesh falls under the obedience of the Almighty, then automatically all of the other limbs of that individual also falls under the obedience of the Almighty. If on the other hand that particular organ or that particular lump of flesh falls under the disobedience of the Almighty, then all of the other limbs of that individual also automatically fall under the disobedience of the Almighty. What is that organ? What is that one special organ? It is none other than the heart of an individual. So sometimes we go through life and our heart is filled with all of these emotions. Sometimes people tend to, hurt us. They do things to us. Before the arrival of the month of Ramadan, learn to forgive. Learn to let go. And learn to leave them in the hands of the Almighty. You can forgive, but you don't need to forget. If a person at some point shows you their true colors, they hurt you in a particular way, they betray you in a particular way, they use you in a particular way, on arrival or coming close to the month of Ramadan, learn to forgive and let go. And say, you know what? Whatever that person did to me, I forgive that person for the sake of Allah, and I leave that person in the hands of the Almighty. But I will never forget what that person is potential of doing. The person who slayed the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was very beloved to him. Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him. This person by the name of Wahshi, he murdered the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Eventually, as time went by, the person swore allegiance at the hands of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, accepted him, welcomed him, but he made one request. He said, please, do not sit in front of me. Even though I have forgiven you, but I'm only human, and when I see you, I remember my uncle. I can't forget what you have done. I accept you as my brother. I have forgiven you for the sake of the Almighty. But I also leave you in the hands of the Almighty. May Allah forgive you and may Allah guide you. And that is the approach we should take with individuals who have hurt us. That is the approach we should take, in trying to purify our hearts, moving towards another month of Ramadan. Forgive the person, let go, relieve yourself of that burden. You don't have to forget, but you can hand that situation over to the hands of the Almighty. Almighty Allah mentions in the Quran chapter 2 verse 225 that Almighty Allah will not take you to task for a slip. He will not take you to task for a shortcoming, but He will take you to task for what your hearts have earned. So make sure what resides in your heart is correct. Make sure what resides in your heart is, spiritually uplifting. And what is the one way to polish your heart? Use the remembrance of the Almighty to polish your heart. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentions that for everything there is a polish. And the polish for the heart is the remembrance of the Almighty. There is nothing more potent in saving a person from the punishment of the Almighty than the remembrance of the Almighty. So if you want to purify your heart leading up to the month of Ramadan, this is the method. Spend time remembering the Almighty, spend time in the worship of the Almighty, reciting the Quran and so on and so forth. And let go of those negative emotions. And by doing those things, automatically you purify your heart and you prepare yourself for the arrival of the month of Ramadan. This month that we are currently in, we've got about 1 week left for the month of Rajab, and then the month of Sha'ban next month, and then the month of Ramadan is literally upon us. And I can tell you, the time will go by very, very quickly. So start making your preparations from now. The month of Rajab, this month, is the month when you should plant your seeds. The month of Sha'ban next month is a time when you water those seeds. And we look forward to the month of Ramadan for reaping the seeds that we have sown these 2 months leading up to the month of Ramadan. So may Allah give us the inspiration. May continue to guide us to use the time given to us to prepare in the best possible manner for the arrival of the best possible month during the course of the year.